Hello, Mike Roth, your next sheriff, La Paz County. I want you to watch this next video because it's real revealing. It was the first Meet the Candidate event we had in La Paz County. It was in Baus, and we all were given 15 minutes to lay out our platform. And I want you to watch my opponent's platform, and I want you to watch my platform. And I would like you to honestly think about who has the better ideas. Okay, I want you to think about who do you think is going to help the community better? Who is going to continue with the same thing law enforcement is doing now, or who is going to do something different? And that's the difference between me and my opponent. My opponent is not going to change anything. He's still going to follow the same system we've been following forever that's not working at all. My opponent also is into federalizing of local police, nationalization of local police, national type law enforcement practices. He does civil asset forfeiture. His lieutenant that he brought in from, I believe, Atlanta, Georgia, used to run interdiction teams on the freeway. Catch the guys going one way getting drugs and get them going back the other way with money type thing. He told me the whole story. That's why we don't have crimes being solved in Quartzsite, is because they're out there looking for revenue. And so it's easy for a politician to say, I'm going to be better than the other guy, but you got to give some strong examples of what you're going to do. And I don't think we should be promoting Quartzsite style law enforcement to the county. It's really time for a change. It's time for new blood. I don't have any commitments to anybody else in, I haven't made any deals, I should say, with anybody else in law enforcement or with the politicians of La Paz County. The politicians don't like to talk to me. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the fact that I stand on principles and I want to do things better. And we can do much better. So what I'd like you to do is watch this presentation. It was the very first one. We were given 15 minutes to speak. My opponent spoke for 2, and he didn't really say anything. And that's going to be the way it is if he's elected. With me, we're going to get a whole new deal. It's going to be better. We're going to have new ways of fighting real crimes, not out there writing tickets on the highways. So watch this and let me know what you think.
Maricopa County Sheriff's Department. I worked there for 2 years and decided I wanted to return home and work in my community where I grew up in. I was hired at Quartzsite and worked there for a number of years. And after 12 years, I went to the Colorado Indian Tribes and worked there for 4.5 years. During my stint there, I rose to the rank of chief, remained there for 2.5 years as a chief, and the position of chief came open at Quartzsite. At that time, I applied and was selected as chief and have been there for the last 4 years. I believe that my 6 years as chief of police and my over 20 years of law enforcement have prepared me for the position of sheriff. This is why I'm currently running for this position. Based on my prior experience and service, I believe that I am the candidate that should be selected. In 2017, I had the opportunity to attend the FBI National Academy, graduated with honors, obtained my yellow brick.
That's
and
a solid
2019, I received
organization.
my FBI Trilogy Leadership Award for training and excellence. These are the reasons why we have
Google
qualified.
FBI corruption.
But I also like to state that I see a lot of issues in the current Sheriff's Department with the leadership. Leadership is not providing the services to the people and the communities they serve. And that's an issue for me. It's a systemic problem in the organization. And I believe I can change those issues. And we can work together to create a better Sheriff's Department and a better organization for our people that we serve. As my current position as Chief of Police with the Town of Quartzsite, I do all those same things. I provide excellent service. I'm dedicated to the
Excellent
people.
service.
And you can see that. You can ask anybody that
That's
is in that community how they feel about our police department. We have an excellent police department. We provide great service to the people who are dedicated to the community. And I will continue that type of service when I become the Sheriff of La Paz County.
Please don't.
So I ask you folks to ask yourselves, do you want to continue with the same regime that is in there now and the lack of service that you guys are receiving?
No.
So please think on that, ponder on that. If you want to continue in the same fashion, then you can elect the individual that's already in there. But if you would like to have stronger leadership, better structure, professional officers that are dedicated to duty and service,
Vote Mike
then elect
Roth.
me for your next sheriff. My name is William Ponson. Thank you for your time.
I'm going to be reading from notes. We got 15 minutes, is that correct? I got a lot to say in a short time to get there.
Hold the mic up a little closer.
All right, is that better?
Hold it straight out.
Like this? 15 years ago, I moved to La Paz County, and I was stunned by what people were putting up with here. And when I decided to say something about it, I was immediately targeted, harassed, arrested, dragged through the court system here. And I'm the only candidate running that has been arrested more than anyone in this county with no convictions. People say I don't know the law or law enforcement. Let me say, if that was true, why do I beat them all the time where it matters most, in a court of law? We have a lot of problems here in La Paz County. Drug abuse and theft are big problems. The bigger problem is government run amok. And if you try to talk about these problems to our elected leaders, they sometimes ignore you and treat you like garbage unless you're friends of theirs. And I will change that. Who am I and how can I help you? I am an entrepreneur. I am a problem solver. I am a patriot. I am a leader. And I believe in the Founding Fathers' documents and their intent. I have started, built, and even sold businesses. Right now I'm in the gemstone trade. I buy, sell, trade, anything mineral related. And I'm also into mining minerals. My wife digs through my rock pile and makes beautiful jewelry out of stuff that people wouldn't even give a second look at in its raw form. Both of us are able to see beauty where others don't. I believe La Paz County has a beautiful future ahead of itself if we just dump the good old boy club and do the right things. I'm a registered independent. You will not see me on the ballot this August. You will vote for me in November. My platform is all about following the Constitution, as it is the highest law in the land. And if anybody would like a free pocket Constitution, I have some back there. They're absolutely free. I think people need a refresher course. My department will not follow or enforce unconstitutional laws. This will free up the sheriff's office and the courts to focus on real crimes with real victims. Some people said Donald Trump couldn't win because he had no experience in politics. He wasn't familiar with how things were done, and they attacked his style. I believe the professional know-it-alls with all the certifications and titles are doing it wrong, and the proof is all around us. Some people say I don't have any experience to be a sheriff. Nothing could be further from the truth, because as an outsider, I have held bad law enforcement officers' feet to the fire for over 15 years as an outsider. Also, La Paz County keeps electing certified law enforcement every 4 years, and nothing improves. I think it's time for outside-the-box thinking. Elect me, someone whose goal is justice. Here's what I intend to do immediately or within the first 100 days of being on the job. First off, I will release a video every week of what's going on in your sheriff's office. I'll put it on a website for everyone to review or watch. Communication is the key, and nobody knows what's going on in these departments countywide. This will bring transparency and more trust to the government. I will also videotape all of the board of supervisor meetings and share it on the same website and make it so people can comment there too. Secondly, I will install a suggestion box outside the front door of the sheriff's office so people can contribute ideas. I will also have an online suggestion box, and I will read these suggestions on the weekly video update. Third, I will install and promote a crime tip hotline where people can leave anonymous tips about criminal activity in your neighborhood. You can leave your contact info for us to follow up with you, or you can remain anonymous if you want to. Fourth, and this is big, guns. Red flag gun laws are coming. If you guys don't know what red flag gun laws are, I suggest you research them immediately. They are a violation of your Fourth Amendment right, and just another way for government to disarm the public. Also, every 2 weeks, I will have a gunsmith available to look at your guns to make sure they are in tip-top shape, free of charge. All you gotta do is come into the sheriff's office, bring your guns, and we'll get you all set up. Also, we're gonna start a gun training program for kids and adults, and even a high school shooting team if there's interest in it.
I will work with Kenny Looper, the only hunter safety instructor in the area. Right now, he's been working with Holly Irwin on a shooting range in Ehrenberg that will draw from California and Arizona. This will be a moneymaker for the county. The land is already set aside. Fencing has been donated. Farmers have agreed to help volunteer with equipment and their time. And CRIT has agreed to already donate 200 yards of concrete to build this out. There's also money available from national organizations to support this once we get it going. We'll be able to attract national shoots too. Again, this will all bring money to the county. Once elected, I'm going to make this a priority for kids and adults, both to have and enjoy, and of course the county will get some revenue, which they really need. The fifth thing I want to do immediately is deputize volunteers to help with the sheriff's office. We need more citizen involvement. The county is so spread out, it's impossible for us to be everywhere. When seconds count, cops are minutes away, and out here, it's 30 minutes or more at times. I've heard horror stories. Friends have gone through trainings in Las Vegas and Phoenix. We can look to see if it's something we can do out here, or maybe we could do something a little bit different. Number 6, and this is not within 100 days, this is immediately, my department will not enforce unconstitutional laws. An example is civil asset forfeiture. Please look that up. If you don't know what it is, it's unconstitutional, and it will end on day 1 when I'm elected. It's nothing more than legalized theft by law enforcement. The sheriff's office and QPD run interdiction on the freeway looking for money they can take without due process. It's looked upon as free money, and it's really someone's hard-earned money. Now, of course, if we find a semi-load of drugs and money, that's a different story. That's obviously cartel, and we need to stop that. But individuals with a few $1,000s will be able to freely travel through our county without fear of getting it confiscated and having to deal with the courts to get this back, and it happens every day, folks. Number 7, speaking of drugs, does anybody know about the schedulization of drugs in America? There's different levels for drugs. I think there's 5, maybe 7. I don't know how many levels. 5. So, Schedule 1 is the worst level of drugs there is. It has no medical benefit whatsoever, Schedule 1. Schedule 2 includes drugs like methamphetamine and PCP and cocaine. Schedule 2 drugs are a lesser crime charge than Schedule 1. You guys know what is in Schedule 1? Cannabis. Okay, people caught with a little bit of cannabis are in prison right now. I've been in jail with people. Proud to say that I've seen this happen personally. Kids with a little bit of cannabis facing a felony, and that is originally intended for drugs with no medical benefit. And I could show you 100 videos of people with stage 4 cancer told to go home and die, take care of your affairs. There's nothing we can do. They sew them up, whatever, and the only thing that saves them is cannabis oil. So on day 1, there will be no more small felon possession cannabis charges anymore. All it does is clog up the courts, waste time, waste money. It keeps the courts busy, it keeps the attorneys busy, and it also keeps the private prison industrial complex in business. Number 8, we will no longer be patrolling the interstate. That's the state's domain. We will, of course, provide backup and respond to emergencies like always, but the majority of our officers' time will be in the neighborhoods. If people pay taxes to fund the sheriff's office, and it's only right that they spend as much time in the neighborhoods taking care of problems instead of out on the freeway revenuing. Number 9, I will help the parents of homeschool kids. Right now, there is discussion to mandate masks for kids as young as 5 years old. So naturally, there's going to be a growth in the number of parents who are going to decide to homeschool. I want to help them with suggestions on curriculum and other things. I view homeschooling as long-term positive as long as they're getting their classes in. Number 10, and again, this isn't in the first 100 days, but it is important. In my 4th year, I will work for donations and donate my salary to the community in the areas that need help. I personally would like to start community gardens throughout the entire county. One part of security is food security. And we are in a dangerous situation out here if there's any interruption in traffic. Any interruption. The average food product in your grocery stores comes from 1,500 miles. We need to get our food more local. And there's another benefit to this too. We'll all be eating healthier and it will be cheaper too. My campaign even comes with several guarantees. I guarantee I will be the most frugal sheriff in La Paz County history. There will be a war on waste and inefficient programs. There will be no sacred cows. Everything will be looked at. I guarantee I'll be the most transparent sheriff. I'm even going to give, as I said, weekly videotaped updates of what your sheriff's office did during the week. I will absolutely guarantee your gun rights. Red flag laws are coming. Our governor has already waffled, flip-flopped a couple times on these red flag gun laws. We don't know what he's going to do next. Your due process rights will be honored with me. And I guarantee, too, I will honor my oath and not abuse my office for political or monetary gain. I personally believe if you raise your right hand and swear to God and the people to honor an oath, and you don't, everything else you do doesn't mean anything. To learn more about me and my platform, go to RothForSheriff.com. I'll be adding more content soon. Also go to Roth for Sheriff on Facebook. If you want to talk to me out here, please do. And I just want to end this with a quote, and then I'll let you go. And the title of this quote is, "Here's to the crazy ones." Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs and the square holes. They're not fond of rules and they have no respect for status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Thank you. I'm Mike Roth, and I want to be your next sheriff.
Okay, in a few minutes we're going to break apart, but I need to apologize to William Ponce. At the very beginning, I thought I was taping, but I wasn't. So, but I did catch you on there, but would you like to say a few more words? I apologize.
Well, I'm sorry you guys got to hear this all again.
Me too.
You only got one speech?
Well, I didn't have a speech. You didn't see me writing anything. That was right from my heart. Telling you the truth of how things are going to be if I get elected as sheriff. Okay. Like I said, my name is William Ponce, and I was born and raised in La Paz County. I'm a 2-decade veteran of law enforcement in this county.
2 decades.
I'm law enforcement service. 5 years in the Navy, 3 years in the United States Army Reserves. So my entire adult life has been about service. I'm sure you can tell that by what I just told you. And I'm about service.
What is it?
They know that they are required to conduct themselves in a manner which provides service.
We should talk about your staff someday.
This is about serving the public, and sometimes that gets forgotten. Sometimes these youngsters don't understand that they're out here to serve the public, and we're going to reinstill that into these youngsters out there on the road.
Youngsters.
People that they're serving, because you guys pay our paychecks. We're public servants, exactly what it says, public servants.
That would be nice.
The reason that I've decided to run for sheriff is because I believe there needs to be a change in law enforcement
Agree.
department in this county. I don't think that the people are getting the service they deserve. So
Nowhere in the county are they.
through my current position and my prior position as chief of police for the last 6 years, I've devoted and dedicated myself to serve the people that I work for, whether it's the Colorado Indian tribes, whether it's the...
We should talk about your experience serving the Colorado River Indian tribes.
I will ensure that the people receive the proper services that they deserve, because we're not getting that right now. And as a citizen and a candidate for sheriff, I'm going to change that. I don't want to see this anymore. It's our job to provide you guys with a service. I'm dedicated to leadership, professionalism, service, and dedication to duty. Those are the things that you're going to hear from me and you're going to see from my staff. Okay? I'm not here to just tell you that. I'm here to make it happen, and I will make it happen. If you talk to any of the people that live in the communities that I've served, they'll tell you the very same thing, because that's what I do. I'm about that. I was raised,
I'm about that, man. I'm that man.
and my dad would give you the shirt off his back to try to give you something to help somebody out. And I believe those same philosophies are part of me and who I am. They're in my bones and in my blood. So if you want to have some change in law enforcement in this county, I'm asking you to vote for me in 2020, because you will have change. Go back and talk to the people in the communities that I work, and you'll see
Please do.
who I am.
Go talk to people in Crit.
Explore a program at Quartzsite
Come to Quartzsite and talk.
to develop our future, because we need help to get these kids on track. Some of them don't have anything at home or anybody to inspire them.
It's law enforcement's job to raise up the kids? This is a new idea.
My time in law enforcement that were struggling and lost, and if maybe they had somebody that cared about them and took a moment to take their time to talk to them and give them some advice or help them out, they'd be somewhere else today. Okay, it's our job.
You had 20 years to get it right.
And that's one of the things that I do. You'll find that in Quartzsite. I'm very devoted to my communities that I work for.
Yeah.
I'm dedicated 100%, and I will be dedicated as your sheriff 100%. So I'm asking you to vote for me in 2020. Okay? I'm a Republican candidate, and I believe I'm the most qualified Republican candidate. As I said earlier, I'm a 2017 graduate of the FBI National Academy, and that's not something to be taken lightly.
No, it's not. FBI training,
That are selected each year to go to the FBI National Academy.
we'll talk about that some more.
Selected. And I'm humbled by the fact that I was selected to attend that.
A humble Ponce. Ooh, this is great.
I learned how to develop myself,
Should send them back for more training.
because it's important that we develop our troops.
Troops. Law enforcement, troops. Come on.
My job is to develop those people to be the future leaders of this county. And that's something that I've done in all my time in law enforcement. I've learned that early on from some leaders that I had in the military that were very great, that you have to develop the people below you, and you have to instill service, dedication. We have to be friendly. It's not about out there going and writing tickets or being on the freeway, because that is something that was said earlier, and I definitely am frustrated with that.
But Quartzsite's on the freeway every day. You're not that frustrated.
Information, because if we build those relationships, then the information will flow right to us without difficulty. But we have to think about that, and again, as leaders from the top down, we have to instill that in our troops, because if we're not instilling that, then we've done nothing. They're coming out here and running traffic and doing whatever they want because they've not been guided or directed. So please,
We know that feeling.
and I believe that a lot of you are saying those same things to me when I'm out here in the public asking questions and trying to obtain information on how things are going or how you feel about the current administration and the current deputies out there on the road. Those are the things that I hear. So for me, those are very important. And if you know anything about me in Quartzsite, I'm in the public all the time, and I will continue that as the sheriff of La Paz County. I'm not scared to go out and talk to people to get to know them.
You wouldn't answer the door when I knocked on it.
I'm dedicated to you 100%. So I'm asking you to vote for me in 2020 as your next sheriff. And I'm not looking for just 4 years. I'm looking to create a dynasty. To let you know
Whoa! Ponce, a dynasty! People, this is what he's in the business, the reason why he's in the race. He wants to build a dynasty. If we had enough dynasties in government, law enforcement in La Paz County already, please, let's do away with the dynasties. Ponce. Oh my God, this is horrible. Please, people, no more dynasties. We've had enough of those.
do that to ourselves. You don't create any stability, and that's bad for us.
Just
We
wow.
have to be creating something for longevity, something that's going to last for a long time.
You're
And I
trying to
will give you
secure
that.
your paycheck forever.
dedicated to the
I'm
cause,
not. I'm
and
trying
I'll
to
give you
fix the
100%.
problems and bring
Thank you.
justice.
Vote
back
for
to
William
our
Ponce
county.
2020.
Wow, folks, if that isn't a reason right there to vote for me, I don't know what is. I'm not interested in a dynasty. I want to fix the problems and get out. Okay, this isn't a lifelong career move for me. It's not something I've dreamed about my entire life. To tell you the truth, I'd rather not be doing this right now. I'd rather be out there selling my gemstones or doing my other entrepreneurial things that I've done over the years. but I own property in this county. I own several pieces of property in this area, and we're not getting the service they're talking about. No more dynasties. Vote Mike Roth for sheriff. You will be happy you did. We can do much, much better, La Paz County. Thank you.